You are listening to Huddling with the Herd on KYNT, a weekly recap of Yankton High School athletics. Huddling with the Herd is brought to you in part by Mount Marty University, At the Bar, FNBO, Avera, Parker Hannafin, Olson's Pest Technicians, Farmers Union Insurance, SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab, Rhonda Westland State Farm Insurance, Vision Care Associates, Explorers Credit Union, Slowy Management, Mason Schramm and the Move Group, MT&RC Smith Insurance, Triple Time Rudy's, Vision Real Estate, First Dakota National Bank, Yankton Medical Clinic, the UPS Store, Hy-Vee, First Chiropractic Centers, Pizza Ranch, and Missouri River Associates. Now broadcasting live from KYNT Studios, it's Huddling with the Herd with KYNT Sports Director Brayden Butler.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live for another week of Huddling with the Herd here on KYNT and KYNTV. We're in a bit of a lull right now, obviously the Easter holiday this weekend. Happy Easter to all those who celebrate. That with a mix of weather, late winter, early spring, just rough weather has caused a gap in Yankton athletics here this weekend, but we got plenty to talk about still. Yankton baseball, they were supposed to have a doubleheader last night and then another doubleheader Thursday night. Both of those moved and changed around. We'll talk about that later on when we talk about baseball. Yankton Gazelle softball started their season earlier this week. Bucks tennis on a hot streak to start things off. And then Yankton track and field off last week, but we'll still talk about their last meet, which would have been a week ago from yesterday. So 8 days ago for that last track and field meet. We'll talk about the results there and then see where they're going to start their outdoor season here shortly. So we got plenty to talk about today here on Huddling with the Herd, KYNT and KYNTV. Huddling with the Herd is presented to you by Explorers Credit Union. Proudly serving Northeast Nebraska and Southeast South Dakota. Discover the difference at explorerscu.com. When we start things off in a couple minutes, we're going to come back and talk about Yankton Bucks baseball here on KYNT and KYNTV. That's coming up in a couple minutes here on Huddling with the Herd.
Looking for the perfect pair of glasses? At Vision Care Associates, we've got you covered. Step into our showroom and discover our vast selection from timeless classics to the latest trends. With several styles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect match for your look. Experience personalized service and expert care. Whether you need help finding the right frame or adjusting your new glasses for the perfect fit.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
What if your next big adventure isn't somewhere out there, but already waiting for you at home? That kitchen remodel, a new addition, or that dream family getaway? Your home's equity can fuel it all. With a fixed-rate home equity loan from Explorers Credit Union, turn what you've built into where you're going next. Explorers Credit Union, we believe in helping you launch your next big adventure. Call 800-491-4309 and speak with a loan officer today. Explorers Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
At Mount Marty University, students get real support and real opportunities.
Hi, I'm Maya, and I'm a business major at Mount Marty University. The professors here at Mount Marty are just amazing. They're very good about supporting me through future internships and jobs that they try and line me up with, and they also provide real life experiences in the classroom through projects and speakers and things like that.
Start your journey online at mountmarty.edu.
It's the best part of basketball season, and At the Bar is your headquarters for every game, every matchup, every last-second shot. Wall-to-wall coverage of upsets, buzzer beaters, bracket busters. If it's on the court, it's on the screens at the bar, and you won't miss a minute. The energy's loud, the beverages are cold, and every big shot feels even bigger when you're watching it together. You can watch the game anywhere, but the real fans gather at the bar in downtown Yankton.
Your money's valuable, but so is your time. FNBO free checking helps you save on both. Bank online and tap to pay means more time back in your day. No monthly fees means more for you to enjoy. More for lattes, takeout, and tickets to the show. More time for the party, friends, and a new adventure. No fees, no hassles. FNBO free checking. One that's free. One with more room for the good stuff. Learn more at fnbo.com/free checking. Member FDIC.
It's time to stop making excuses. The peace of mind you get after a colonoscopy is worth it. It's the best way to prevent and detect one of the deadliest cancers. In fact, Your doctor can remove precancerous polyps during the procedure if necessary. That's right, before it even turns to cancer. No excuses. Get a colonoscopy at 45 and follow up every 10 years or as recommended by your doctor. Find a location or schedule now at avera.org/colon.
Welcome back here on KYNT and KYN-TV. You are listening to Huddling with the Herd, your weekly recap of Yankton Bucks and Gazelles athletics. Not a lot of athletics taking place this week between the Easter holiday and some tough weather throughout the week. But we still got plenty to talk about, starting with Yankton Bucks baseball. They started their season last Saturday, so a week ago today, against Pierre. And it was a sweep for the Bucks over the Pierre Governors, but it was a hard-fought pair of games. Yankton claimed game one 5-4. The Bucks led 4-0 after the first inning, but Pierre was able to battle back a little bit, make that a close game. Carter Boomsma finished the day 2 for 3 with a pair of RBIs and a run scored. Sam Goki went 2 for 3 at the plate with a run scored, and Christian Weir 1 for 2 with a pair of runs driven in. Boston Frick got the win on the mound. 3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned, and 3 strikeouts. Beck Reichen pitched 4 innings of relief, allowing 3 hits, having 3 strikeouts, and giving up 1 run, but it was unearned for Reichen. In game 2, another close game, 3-2 win for the Bucks. Sam Kamshoff came in late and played hero, 1 for 2 with a run scored for him. Brennan Gilmore scored a run as well, with Easton Fieser and Jackson Kudera both recording an RBI. Chase Cooley got the start on the mound. 3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, and 5 strikeouts. Sam Goki came in for 4 innings of relief, gave up 3 hits, no runs, and 4 Ks. In the post-game, I got a chance to talk to head coach Drew Lawrence of the Yankton Bucks about his team's performance on opening day. Obviously, a little different strategy with pitching this early in the season, and he mentioned that in our interview. This is slightly edited from last week. There's a chunk where we talk about the games that were supposed to happen Thursday and Friday against Spearfish and Aberdeen. Spearfish games were moved to April 11th, and they will take place at a neutral site in Chamberlain. No makeup date for the Aberdeen games. I believe those just flat out have been canceled due to weather late this week. But here's that interview now with head coach Drew Lawrence of the Yankton Bucks.
We bring in the head coach, Drew Lawrence of the Yankton Bucks. A doubleheader sweep in the opening game of the season. I know, obviously, early games in the year, you're in March, things are a little different mindset than you are maybe later in April when you're getting towards the end of the year. But 2 wins, got to be happy coming off the side of the field with 2 wins to start things off.
Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect as far as today goes. You know, traditionally we tend to be pretty slow going with the swings and at bats and driving people in. And then we tend to warm up. That's just kind of our MO. So with that and it being early, you know, and limiting our pitching, you know, you never know what you're going to expect. You know, when you get to playing, you know, games that count in March, there's no good wins or good losses. There's just wins and losses. Like, you're just hoping to improve and get better that day and then move on.
And looking, we'll start at game 1. You mentioned a couple different pitchers throwing both games. We did see 2 guys who were at the top of your rotation last year, Sam Goki and Beck Reichen, both pitched, but neither of them got the start. We saw Boston Frick in game 1, Chase Cooley in game 2. A couple guys who I know both pitched last year, but most likely going to be in a more extended role this year in the rotation.
Yeah, both of them will be. You know, with this first game, obviously, Beck and Samuel are going to be starting pitchers for us, but our plan for this game was pretty much to get 50 to 60 pitches for everybody. We don't want to extend people in March when we have 6 months to play. So the thought process there was, well, let's have our 2 guys that were our 2 best last year, really. I mean, Beck and Samuel in relief, and if we get a lead, then, you know, we win the game. We did that a lot with Samuel in the spring last year anyway. Obviously, at some point, they're both going to be starting when we can start to extend pitches. But we were comfortable with Boston, obviously. I mean, Boston last year started tons of big games for us and a lot of innings, and we were comfortable with Cooley. Those guys are all going to start. You know, and then it just goes week to week based on what we need. We wanted to get Bestie in the game, but didn't present it that way, the way you did, so that's okay. He'll be ready to go. But if it wasn't Samuel there at the end, I would have gone to Bestie if it was anybody else. But knowing that Samuel can shut down doors and do a good job, we didn't even think about it. So good job by all of our pitchers out there today.
I know when we had our preseason conversation, you mentioned it's very rare you can bring back the high school player of the year, and you did just that with Sam Goki now into his senior year. But I want to talk about a couple new faces, both making plays at the end of both games that really helped seal things. Jackson Kudrow with a couple putouts at the end of game one when you moved him out to shortstop in place of Beck Reichen, and then obviously Simon Kampshoff. Funny enough, this is the second time that's happened on this broadcast. Simon Kampshoff with a hard hit ball right down the third base line to really get things in motion for what ended up being a game winner there late.
Yeah, Jackson with those two plays at short at the end of game one. The first one was at a really tough play in the hole, and he threw a dime all the way to first on a line. Second one wasn't easy either. I mean, it was kind of a chopper. He had to come in. So it was nice to see that. Like, you know, we have a lot of confidence in him there, and there's a reason that he's coming in there when Beck is pitching. And so those were some big plays that kind of sealed the game. You know, and then Simon comes up, you know, the at-bat before his last at-bat, he ends up striking out on a curveball where the swing looked a little funky because he was fooled. And then he got down in this last count too, I believe. I can't remember the count, but that ball was hit really hard to third and jump-started us to get that last run and get the winning run in. So, yeah, it's good for those guys to be able to play. And, you know, we got a lot of guys in the game today. In the first game, we started 9 seniors. I don't remember the last time I did that, or I was able to do that. And so that's cool. Like, being able to start 9 seniors and have a bunch of seniors to play is fun. So, yeah, it was a good day.
A couple of those guys who, you know, newer faces will just stepping up more into extended role this year. I thought Carter Boomsma played really well his first couple of bats.
Carter had a big hit that first game. I mean, he was the first one to drive in the runs, I believe, in that first inning. I think it was bases loaded, 2 outs, and that's a big spot. So Carter was really good there. I'm sorry I interrupted you. I wanted to make sure I talked about that. But Carter had a big hit there, and then Christian Weir followed it up after that with, you know, another couple RBI, and then all of a sudden we're up 4-1. So it was big.
Yeah, if there's ever anything you want to get over the airwaves that I'm not hitting, just let me know, and I'll set you up for it. But no, it's absolutely fine there. I wanted to talk about Carter a little bit and his performance, but thank you once again, Coach, for coming up here. Congrats on a couple wins, and we'll talk to you ahead of those games next week.
Yep, appreciate it. Thanks.
Big thank you to head coach Drew Lawrence of the Yankton Bucks baseball program for talking to us here on KYNT and KYN TV. We're going to keep it with ball and bat sports when we come back. It's Gazelles softball up next. We'll hear from head coach Jill Muth as well when we return. This is Huddling with the Herd, KYNT and KYN TV.
Imagine paid vacation, sick leave, holidays, and full medical coverage the moment you start a new job. Plus quarterly profit sharing, 5% 401k match, and a company-paid retirement plan your first day on the job. With Parker of Yankton, you don't have to imagine, because all these benefits begin day one. We are hiring assemblers, material handlers, and line operation techs for both shifts. Don't mind working nights? Enjoy a pay differential of $235. If you're looking to upgrade your career and have day one benefits, apply today at parker.com.
Parker, engineering your success.
Do you have a pest problem? Bed bugs, bats in the attic, termite damage, earwigs? Olson's Pest Technicians can tackle any of your pest problems. Family owned and operated with over 80 years of pest experience in South Dakota, Minnesota, and Iowa. Proven pest methods include Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatments for bed bugs. Even the toughest pest infestations don't stand a chance. Olson's Pest Technicians, putting pests to rest since 1966. Call 800-KIL-BUGS.
Tip-off is here and the season's heating up. Whether it's your home, farm, or everyday life, Farmers Union Insurance help you defend against the unexpected and score big on protection. Brendan Hansen and Brandon Tykero at Suite 101B, Morgan Square in Yankton help you rebound from surprises, make every play count, and keep your game strong all season long. Don't let life slam dunk you. Stop by today and stay covered with Farmers Union Insurance.
If you've been suffering from chronic pain or a recent injury, check us out, Lane, Reed, and Cole Sawatsky at SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab.
We offer a wide variety of treatments and techniques, including dry needling, cupping, chiropractic adjustments, and sports rehabilitation.
Our mission is to ensure an individualized and efficient treatment plan to get you back on your feet.
From ankle sprains and sports injuries to neck pain and headaches, we've got your back.
Give us a call or book an appointment on our website. SWAT Chiropractic, specialized wellness and therapy.
Located on Summit Street across from the high school.
When you make the right decision, it feels good.
like picking the perfect accent rug or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night crime show binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision too. That's why State Farm agent Rhonda Westland is right here in Yankton to help you select the right protection at the right price. Rhonda will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. With State Farm agent Rhonda Westland, it's easy to make the right choice. Just call her. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back here on KYNT and KYN-TV for Huddling with the Herd. It's time to talk about Yankton Gazelles softball. They opened their season on Monday. It was scheduled to start on Tuesday, but great weather on Monday compared to Tuesday moved the start up a day. I don't believe the Gazelles were complaining too much. Great day earlier this week up in Brookings. Unfortunately, though, it did end in an extra innings loss. 7-4 the final score, but that really not indicative of how close the game was. It was just a 3-run shot in that 8th inning that gave Brookings the 3-run win. Callie Koletsky, 3 for 4 at the plate, a double and 2 runs scored for her. September Rao had a double as well. Reese Gary does get credit for the loss in the circle, but did strike out 3 Bobcats batters in the season opener. And it is a young pitching staff for Yankton this year. Now, I had a chance to speak with head coach Jill Muth earlier this week over the Pizza Ranch phone line about her, not only her pitching staff, but the team as a whole, as they have some pretty high expectations. Are looking forward to a good season this year for Yankton Gazelles softball. Let's roll into that interview right now here on Huddling with the Herd. Brayden Butler here for Huddling with the Herd. Joining me this morning for the first time in the softball season, but not the first time this year, is head coach of the Yankton Gazelles softball team, Jill Muth. Coach Muth, happy to have you back here on Huddling with the Herd, now talking about some Yankton Gazelles softball.
Yeah, you bet. It's that time of year. Spring is in the air. We've had some rain finally, and it's time to get outside and play some ball.
You know, you started the season earlier this week. It feels like the first couple games of the season are always in danger of getting moved around. You were scheduled for the 31st to be opening day. You actually moved it up a day to the 30th to take on Brookings earlier this week. Extra innings game there that unfortunately ends up in a loss for the Gazelles. But how did that opening game go for your team, and what did you what were you happy to see as a coach for the first competitive game of the season?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I was happy to see our girls come out and battle. You know, we came out and got up a run, and then they came back and went ahead. But, you know, we stuck with it. We competed. We had good at-bats. We had girls on lots of innings, and we did lots of good things. And I think we had, you know, some really good plays in there. And I think we showed that, you know, we are going to be a team that's going to go out and find ways to be competitive and surprise people a little bit.
Looking at the box score of that game, obviously it was 7-4 loss in the end, but it was basically a walk-off home run for Brookings that ended things. It was tied up heading into extra innings. Callie Koletsky, or Kaylee, I hope I'm getting that right, one of the two, 3 for 4 at the plate. Callie, perfect. 3 for 4 at the plate for her, 2 runs scored in the box score. So she looked pretty impressive early on in the season for her start.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, she's first start for her in the varsity game, and she came out and started off the season for us with a hard hit, you know, single, and hit the ball really all 4 times hard, and a couple, you know, 3 of the 4 found an opening, and she did a great job of getting us off on the right foot.
Looking at your roster for this season, I know you got a couple seniors that are kind of leading your team, but looking at players who are listed as pitchers, I don't know if there's somebody that should be listed, but I'm seeing a lot of underclassmen, young players listed at your pitching position. Is that something that you were prepared for heading into this season, or how are you preparing to use those younger players in key moments?
Yeah, you know, we knew that we lost our pitcher last year. Madison Gerard pitched for us, I think started every game for us, and we had 2 girls that came in and pitched for us in some situations, you know, and then one of them was hurt in the off season, and so she is not on our roster right now. So the only girl we've had with any high school experience is Reese Gary, and she came out on Monday and pitched fantastic. You know, she gutted it out, and yeah, I ended up unfortunately giving up that home run at the end. But she pitched really well, got us out of some jams, and I think is gonna just continue to grow and show us some impressive things this year. And then our other pitchers are 3 freshmen who have obviously not had any experience at the high school level, being that they are freshmen. But, they're girls that are willing to come out and learn and work hard, and they've been, that's what we've been doing here these first couple weeks, and hopefully they'll continue to show some improvement and just keep getting better and getting themselves in a position where they can come in and be ready to throw some innings for us in the varsity game.
I want to talk about what's next for you guys to wrap things up. But first, since this is our first conversation of the season, talk to you a little bit about your coaching staff, who's helping you out with the team this year, who your assistant coaches, and anything like that.
Sure. Yeah. I have 2 assistant coaches, Amanda Blaha, and she teaches here in town at the middle school, and she is kind of our technology guru. She will do anything that you ask of her, but she is really good at the technology, and she sets up our game changer and things like that, and then fills in where we need her. And then we have Crystal Cooley, who is another assistant for us, and she works here in town, and she works a lot with our pitchers. She was a pitcher when she played in college, and so she's got just great knowledge that she can use to help our pitchers continue to grow and get better. And not that she doesn't work with everybody, but that's kind of her main focus when she's at practice, is working with those pitchers. And then we continue to pick her brain about anything and everything that we can. So we're really lucky to have her on staff as well.
And then looking ahead at what's next for your Yankton Gazelles team, quite a bit all over a full week off for your team from your season opener in town to your next game. But on April 7th, taking a trip up to Aberdeen. Then you have your home opener on the 9th against Pierre. Both of those coming up next week. So what are your expectations for those games in the coming week?
Yeah, that's kind of spring softball and throwing Easter in the middle of it and stuff. And so we got to have a few days of practice, and then, of course, it rained on us and whatnot, so we didn't really get to be outside too much. But we are headed up to Aberdeen on Tuesday, and, then I told the girls that's our 2 longest road trips of the year, Brookings and Aberdeen, and they're done in the first week of the season. So it'd be nice to have those long trips out of the way. But and then Pierre at home, and it's going to be a fun week. I think those are games that we can go out and compete in, and if we play well, and those are games that hopefully we can go out and get a couple wins to get our season going.
Yeah, scrolling through the rest of your schedule here, it looks like after this week, the farthest you got to go anywhere is the Sioux Falls area. So probably very happy to get those 2 trips out of the way early on here. Coach, thank you for taking some time to talk today. Good luck not only this coming week, but throughout the rest of your season for the Yankton Gazelles, and hopefully we can get you back on here in the coming weeks to get another update on how the team's looking.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to visit with you again. So thank you for your time, and thank you for all the coverage that you guys provide for our athletes at Yankton High School. We appreciate that.
Thank you to head coach Jill Muth of the Yankton Gazelles softball program for taking time out of her day earlier this week to talk to me over the Pizza Ranch phone line. The Gazelles back in action on Tuesday after their Easter hiatus. They're on the road against Aberdeen Central. They come back later next week with their home opener against Pierre. But that's what's coming up for Yankton Gazelles softball. Good luck to them in the coming week and throughout the entire season. We're going to go back to break. When we return, we're going to talk Yankton Bucks tennis and their hot start to the season here for 2026. Still plenty to come here on Huddling with the Herd. You are listening to KYNT 102.1 FM AM 1450, and we're streaming live on KYN TV. We're back after this break.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first. We offer expertise and experience, where your long-term eye care is our concern. State-of-the-art technology, where we never lose sight of quality. Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
What if your next big adventure isn't out there on the road? What if it's already waiting right at home? That kitchen you've been dreaming of, extra room to grow, or the family trip you've pictured long ago. Your home's equity can fuel it all. When your plans become a must, Explorer's Credit insured by NCUA. Call 800-491-4309 and put your equity to work for you today.
Having guests coming to Yankton for area graduations? Well, the two best choices are easy: the Fairfield by Marriott and the Holiday Inn Express. Enjoy comfortable rooms, free breakfast, gathering rooms, pool, and more. With graduation season coming up from Mount Marty, USD, and Yankton High School, rooms are filling fast, so don't wait. Call the Fairfield by Marriott or the Holiday Inn Express in Yankton to lock in great rates and stress-free reservation changes.
Buying a home isn't just about real estate. It's about investing in yourself. At the Move Group, we believe the best time to buy is when it makes sense for you. Our expert agents put people before transactions, meaning we listen first, provide honest guidance, and help you make a confident decision. No pressure, no gimmicks. Markets change, but the right home is about more than just numbers. It's about finding the right fit for your life and your future. When you're ready, we're here to help. Contact the Move Group today.
Loading the kids in the car, brokering peace in the back seat, mastering the snack handoff without even looking. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple, so you can worry about more important things, like figuring out what's growing in that cup holder. That's simple human sense.
Don't gamble. Insure with MT and RC Smith Insurance in Yankton, your independent agent for home, business, auto, life, and bonds. Visit mtrcsmithinsurance.com.
Welcome back here on Huddling with the Herd, KYNT, KYN TV. We're going to switch our attention now to Yankton Bucks tennis. We'll also touch on Gazelles golf a little bit here as they are getting closer to the start of their season. But for Bucks tennis, 7-0 on the year. They swept Bishop Heelan and Vermilion earlier this week in a triangular that did have to be moved indoors, but it did take place right here in Yankton. They started things off with a 7-2 win over Bishop Heelan. Chris Rockney, Ethan Marsh, Jack Pedersen, Zane Becker, and Harrison Kraske all winning in singles play. Rockney and Marsh would get a win in doubles play, as did Pedersen alongside Nels Hansen for a 7-2 win over Bishop Heelan. As for their match with Vermilion, an 8-1 win, almost a clean sweep. They did sweep doubles play, though, did the Bucks. Jack Pedersen, Connor Mitchell, Ivan Kraske, Nels Hansen, and Abe Hansen all picking up singles victories as well. Yankton will host Brandon Valley and Sioux Falls Roosevelt in a triangular on Tuesday. The Bucks' hot start to this season. Over 7 matches so far, obviously 7-0. They haven't dropped more than 2 individual matches in a head-to-head between them and another school so far this season. So 7-2s, 8-1s, a couple 9-0 sweeps for the Yankton Bucks. They are rolling out of the gate. Like I said, though, Brandon Valley and Sioux Falls Roosevelt coming to town on Tuesday for a triangular. That's out at the Summit Activities Center tennis courts here by Yankton High School. Obviously, the tennis program, I don't know how many times I can say it, off to a fantastic start. High hopes for the Yankton Bucks tennis team this year. Now looking to Yankton Gazelles golf. I know they are the last sport to get things rolling in the spring season for Yankton High School athletics. We've been talking about it the last couple weeks, but they do start their season on April 16th, so that is getting close. Just under 2 weeks away for their season opener for Gazelles golf that will take place at Spring Creek Country Club in Harrisburg. So Gazelles golf starting shortly. Tennis for the Bucks, obviously off to a great start as well. We're going to go back to break here on Huddling with the Herd, KYNT and KYN TV. When we come back, we're going to talk about Yankton Track and Field. Had the week off from competition, but we're going to talk about their last meet just over a week ago, and then also preview what's next for the Yankton Bucks as Gazelles as they will compete outdoors for the first time next week. That's coming up next here on Huddling with the Herd, KYNT, KYN TV.
There's a difference when a convenience store is locally owned, and you feel it the moment you stop at Triple Time Rudy's. You'll get great quality fuel to keep you on the move, plus local and regional favorites like Dimmick Cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner Lockers. It's the kind of place that's convenient and connected to your community. Conveniently located at 17th and Broadway, Triple Time Rudy's, fueling your day, fueling your community.
Hi, I'm Deb Speck with Vision Real Estate.
If you're thinking of selling your home, let's start with a full market analysis so you can understand our local market trends and know what to expect. Let me handle the details so you can focus on your next adventure. When it's time to move, pack those vision boxes and hook up to our courtesy trailer. Call me, Deb Speck, at 605-664-5555.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
When aches, pains, or unexpected injuries slow you down, the orthopedic team at Yankton Medical Clinic is ready to help. Led by 3 highly skilled surgeons who are invested in the community they call home, this team isn't just caring for patients, they're caring for neighbors. They live here, raise their families here, and take pride in keeping the Yankton area moving. Walk-in orthopedic care is available Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, so expert care is there when it's needed most. The orthopedic team at Yankton Medical Clinic. So much care, so close to home.
Getting your business noticed starts with the right print. The other day, a customer came into the UPS store Yankton to pick up blueprints we printed for him. While we finished his order, he mentioned needing business cards. At the UPS store, we handle all your printing needs. Stop in and ask about our current print specials. And that customer? We had his new business cards ready the very next business day. Come explore our small business solutions at the UPS store in Yankton.
Welcome back here on KYNT and KYN TV. You are listening to Huddling with the Herd, and now it's time to talk Yankton Bucks and Gazelles track and field. They did not compete this past week, so a little bit of a lull there with that. They weren't scheduled to compete anyway. It has nothing to do with the weather, or probably has something to do with the Easter holiday, but I digress. But looking back to just over a week ago, took part in the MMU Mount Marty University Class A Indoor Invite. We'll start with the Gazelles and their results. Quinn Brinkman, another great performance for her, set a new meet record when she cleared 5.5 to win the high jump. Also placed 4th in the triple jump. Avery Portillo also in the top 8 for the triple jump, placing 8th. Maddie Tarashinsky was 5th in the shot put. Delaney Yeomans was 6th in the 800. Abby Johannesson 8th in the 800. And Berkeley Olsen, rounding out individual finishers for the Gazelles, was 6th in the 60. As for relays, it was Yeomans and Johannesson along with Colleen Peterson and Rylan Jackson for 3rd in the 3200. That same quartet also finished 5th in the distance relay. Jackson, Brinkman, Riley Mosier, and Mary Rounds were 4th in the sprint medley. That's Quinn Brinklin and Rylan Jackson rounding out the 4 there. And Mosier, Charlie Madsen, Avi Seiler, and Ava Henricks were 3rd in the 800 relay. So impressive performances from the Gazelles all around just over a week ago at the Class A Indoor Invite at Mount Marty University. As for the Bucks, did claim one individual championship. William Rounds winning the pole vault, clearing 13.6. Carson Krall, his teammate, placed 6th in the event. Luke Feimer, 3rd in the 1600 and 6th in the 800. A couple of top 8 finishes for him. Andrew Budig, 3rd in the shot put. Kale Hazelhorst was 3rd in the 60 hurdles. Tegan LaCroix, 7th in the long jump. Owen Eidsness, 7th in the 400. And Jacob Bivens, rounding out the top 8 finishers individually, was 8th in the high jump for the Bucks. As for the relays, 3rd in the 800, that was Owen Eidsness, Tegan LaCroix, Alex Swihart, and Kale Hazelhorst. In the 1600, the Bucks placed 6th. Swihart, Eidsness, LaCroix all teaming up again along with Luke Feimer. In the 3200, Isaac Paulson, Brighton Olsen, Tristan Dusher, and Luke Jacobson were able to take home 3rd place in that. In the distance medley, also a 3rd place finish for Isaac Larrington, Paulson, Olsen, and Hoover, rounding that out, that Hoover being Braxton Hoover. Hoover was also part of the sprint medley team that finished 7th, along with Dusher, Bivens, and Will Sagner. Up next for the Yankton Bucks and Gazelles on the track and field program is their first outdoor meet next week at Sioux Falls Lincoln High School. The meet will take place on the 7th of April, with events scheduled to begin at 4 p.m. Good luck to the Bucks and Gazelles in their track and field meet next week up at Sioux Falls Lincoln High School. We're going to go back to break here on Huddling with the Herd. When we return, it's time for YHS Nation here on KYNT and KYN-TV. It's all coming up shortly. The Waxahachie is the topic of discussion this week. That's after this break here on KYNT, KYN-TV.
Save time when you shop online with Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee makes it easy to order groceries online through our app or Hy-Vee.com. Pickup is always free. And if you have a Perks Plus membership, you get free delivery and free express pickup. Shop online with Hy-Vee and you can create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Talk about convenience. Order groceries online today. Check out Hy-Vee.com or download the Hy-Vee app.
It's easy to fall into the weekend warrior routine. A long hike, a hard gym session, a pickup game, or a full day of yard work can feel productive until your body reminds you it hasn't been building up to that load. This is Dr. Mackenzie Erlinson with First Chiropractic Centers. Injuries often happen when the demand suddenly outpaces what your joints and muscles are prepared for. Want to stay active without the setbacks? Visit First Chiropractic Centers today with offices in Yankton, Hardington, Tyndall, and Wagner, inspiring and empowering others to healthier living.
Practice, meetings, errands, homework, life doesn't slow down. That's why Yankton Pizza Ranch makes dinner easy. Our buffet is hot, fresh, and ready when you are. Pizza, desserts, and the country's best chicken. When your schedule's packed but you still want something delicious, make it a buffet day at Yankton Pizza Ranch, serving daily from 11 to 8.
It's where life tastes better. Surround them up and head her down to the Pizza Ranch.
Whoa, that's good.
Ever have one of those days? Your car breaks down. Your dog decides your couch is a chew toy. And, oh yeah, a tree falls on your roof. Don't worry, Missouri River Associates has you covered. Auto, home, pet mishaps, we're here for all of life's little oops moments. Call 665-6885 for your free quote. Because life happens, and we're ready for it.
At Vision Care Associates, we're always improving our technology for the health of your eyes. With OptiMap dilation-free exams, you get a comprehensive view of your retina without the need for dilation eye drops. It's quick, easy, and best of all, it keeps your day interruption-free. OptiMap captures a detailed image of your eye, helping to detect any problems. No blurriness, no discomfort, just clear, precise results. Book your OptiMap exam now.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Welcome back here on Huddling with the Herd. It's time for YHS Nation here on KYNT and KYN-TV. YHS Nation is your look at an activity or event going on around Yankton High School outside of the athletic sphere. This week, we're talking Waxahachie, which is the student newspaper at Yankton High School. Our very own Scotty Borman was able to talk to Becky Verheuel, who's the supervisor for the Waxahachie this year, and I believe a couple of students involved with the Waxahachie as well. So it's a very good interview. We're going to get to that right now here on KYNT and KYN-TV.
Good morning, and this is another episode of YHS Nation. I am Scotty Borman for KYNT. And today I get to talk journalism. So we're at the high school talking to 3 people involved in the student newspaper known as the Waxahachie. So first and foremost, we're just going to do introductions as we go. So what is your name and what position do you have with the Waxahachie?
My name is Elia Homestead and I'm a co-editor of the Waxahachie.
Excellent. And what year in school are you?
I'm a junior.
Junior. Okay, so you got another year yet to have fun with this. And what is your favorite thing about journalism, being an editor, that type of thing?
I really love to put my own voice in what I write, whether it's an editorial or just a little blurb about certain sports or activities going on in school. And I just like critiquing other work and like being able to learn what a journalistic writing is.
Okay. And do you prefer doing hard news or what we call sometimes soft news or human interest stories? Which was your favorite?
My favorite thing to do is definitely like my editorials, which I'm sure is like human interest and like just kind of what I'm thinking about either that month or like, you know, maybe some issues or like topics in society and that kind of stuff.
So you get to tell your side of an issue and stuff like that. Cool. And what's your favorite topic, favorite class in your junior year here?
My favorite topic is probably trig, pre-calc trig.
Ooh,
Yeah.
one of the few mathers, huh?
Yeah, I do like it.
All right, cool. And do you have an idea what you want to do after YHS, or if you're going to pursue journalism in any aspect?
I was thinking about going out of state somewhere and getting some sort of either major or minor in journalism and then going on to law school after that. So, let's see.
Words are very important in law, very much so, yes. And then, since all three of you said you could answer this, I'll start it off with this. The big trivia question for the morning. What does Waxapay mean in the native tongue here?
The Wise Book.
The Wise Book. Cool. You guys put wisdom into the Waxapay?
Of course.
Well, of course.
What else?
Yeah.
Of course. All right. How silly of me to ask. All right. And next we come to...
Sophia Shudak.
And your position?
I'm just general staff.
General staff. Okay, so these gals get to boss you around a little bit,
A little
huh?
bit.
Yeah. And so, what do you like about being involved in the Waxapay and in journalism in general?
I feel like it really exposes me to all the different activities and people that we have in Yankton and in our high school in general. And it also introduces me to different parts of activities or staffing that I wouldn't normally see. I did an article about the lunch ladies one time, and that was really, really interesting. And so it just really opens my eyes to all the different moving parts that we have in our school that people might not be able to ordinarily see.
I just did a YHS Nation a few weeks ago on the lunch program here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand that. And yeah, being able to connect with people around the community is pretty awesome. I got connections everywhere, it seems like. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people. So what is your favorite topic? Oh, I forgot to ask. What year in school are you?
I'm also a junior.
You're also a junior. Okay. And what's your favorite topic? And
there is a class that I take called Contemporary World Issues. And
Ooh.
so it's very expansive, just like we look at a lot of current news today and kind of what's going on in the world, but we also are like, this is what happened in history, here's how it's relating to today. So it's really interesting.
I understand that. I enjoy that a lot because in my career, I have actually witnessed some history, and I can tie a lot of what's going on here with some history, so I enjoy that a lot. And do you have any plans on pursuing journalism after YHS, or what are your expectations?
For a while I thought I would, but I'm now more on a track for chemistry and getting a degree, maybe like pharmacy, or maybe even going into the med field, like becoming a doctor. So.
Well, both in lawyerness and in chemistry, anything like that, you're going to need to know how to write. And know how to write differently for different purposes, right? So that's pretty cool. And always having that under your belt is very important because you're going to be writing a lot scientifically. So it's like, being very precise is important. So, and let's see, we'll go to our third and final one here. Not the best for last, right?
I know, yeah.
So what is your name and what year in school are you? And what position do you have with the Waxapay?
I am Charlotte Smith. I'm a junior in high school, and I am also a co-editor with Elia.
Okay, cool. All juniors. Awesome.
Yes, yeah.
So we got some good foundations for next year for the Waxapay. Excellent. And what do you like most about journalism and working for the Waxapay?
I really enjoy the, kind of like Sophia said, just the different things that I can learn about people and the programs within our school and just throughout our society. And I really enjoy being able to write about student issues that they have now. I really enjoy writing about those things.
Okay. And do you prefer like more hard news or more of the soft news issues?
I'd say the soft news issues. I write a lot about like mental health stuff in my editorials, and I think that's kind of where I'm more drawn.
Okay. I personally prefer that type of stuff too, being able to talk to somebody and see what they're passionate about and telling their story, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Telling, like in our world, we got to talk about like a car wreck or something like that. That's not nearly as fun, or a house fire. But and how far-reaching does the Waxahachie go? I mean, I know you cover student issues, things that are happening in school, sports, I'm assuming, as well?
Yeah, we do a lot of sports and upcoming activities, but we also try and focus on things in our community and also some things that tie in the community and the school together. If we have fundraisers for the school, we like to try and talk about those as well.
Yeah, I learned when I talked to the National Honor Society, they do projects in the community. So
yeah.
You probably talk to students like that. So when you have YHS students out in the public doing things, okay, cool. And do you intend to pursue journalism down the road, or what do you plan after YHS?
I am kind of just wherever the wind takes me. I am planning on.
It's been wanting to take you a lot lately, so.
I have been kind of looking at different colleges that have journalism options, but I am looking to go into a vet tech, so it is nice to have that journalism background.
Wow, cool. We got a lot more scientific versus art type based here with you three, so that's cool. And my first journalism job was actually writing for the Vermilion Plain Talk, which is their newspaper. I was the sports photographer and editor. So do any of you gals do photography as well for?
Yeah,
okay.
Sometimes.
Okay. And I get out and try and get photographs of sporting events when I'm not working back at the radio station as well, just for fun. But I'll stay with you since you're a co-editor. If anybody from junior on below, even maybe an 8th grader that might be listening, how would you tell somebody that this might be a really cool fit for them? How the being involved in the Waxahachie might enhance their experience here at YHS?
I mean, I would say that it just opens up your eye to all the different things going on in the school. There are a million activities going on after school and even during school, and it's nice to be able to see that from a journalism type view because you get to see all the background to it. You get to hear about all the fun different things, and so I would say it really opens your eye to those types of things.
This is Scotty Borman for YHS Nation.
Big thank you to Scotty Borman for conducting that interview and letting us know more about the Waxahachie over at Yankton High School. Now, though, it is time for the activities calendar for YHS, looking at the schedule for the coming week. Activities begin on Tuesday. Yankton Bucks tennis has a home triangular beginning at 11 a.m. with the Bucks taking on Brandon Valley. Brandon Valley and Sioux Falls Roosevelt will then face off at 1 p.m. and then at 3 p.m. Yankton will end things for the day against Roosevelt. Yankton Bucks and Gazelles track and field also on the road that day. Field events actually start at 2:30 p.m. So it's the running events that start at 4 p.m., which I said earlier when talking about track and field. Field events at 2:30 at Sioux Falls Lincoln High School. Yankton will compete against the host Sioux Falls Lincoln, as well as Sioux Falls Jefferson, T-Area, and Brandon Valley. And Yankton Gazelles softball against Aberdeen Central at Northern State University. First pitch for 4 p.m. Tuesday afternoon. As for Wednesday, April 8th, the Region 1 Large Group Music Contest taking place at Vermilion High School. Moving on now to Thursday, April 9th, Yankton Gazelles softball has their home opener against Pierre. 4 p.m. first pitch for the junior varsity. The varsity will take place at 6 p.m. That is an ESD conference game. And Friday, April 10th, boys tennis has a varsity triangular at Sioux Falls Jefferson High School between the Bucks, the Cavaliers, and Millbank. That's the weekly calendar here, what activities are coming up next week around Yankton High School. Now that's going to wrap up another edition of Huddling with the Herd here on KYNT and KYN-TV. Thank you for the coaches that were available this week, and good luck to all the Bucks and Gazelles in their athletics throughout not only the rest of the week, but the rest of the spring season. And a big thanks, of course, to Scotty Borman for our YHS Nation interview this week, talking about the Waxahachie, the student newspaper at Yankton High School. Until next Saturday, stay safe, be good.